Right here we have the RS3 back at the showroom. We got the carbon fiber CMST tuning glass hood. We also have the CMST tuning carbon fiber rear spoiler as well, featuring the TAKD front lip. Now the RS3 is back here because you can see there's a little oopsie right here on the fender and the door. So a customer wants to do a wide body carbon fiber kit to replace and fix that. So we're going to get the fenders front and back. We also have a trunk that we're going to be putting on the back as well. Stay tuned for a little transformation carbon fiber on the RS3.
So we got this RS3. So today we're gonna be swapping out the trunk. Hold on. Let me run 6 seconds real quick. So after you pull out the carpet, disconnect all your harnesses. So this vehicle has tremendously a lot of harnesses. Just make sure you don't break none of it. So one of the last steps is just removing the tail lamps. 3 bolts that are 8mm. And also we removed the trunk latch already. 13mm trunk bolts. Carbon trunk doesn't have all 3 factory location bolts. It just comes with 2, and you can use your factory nuts. We just installed the tail lamp in. So now repeat the process as if you took it off. Pop the camera in and pop the lights back in, and you should be good. Doing a little bit extra work because the customer has a jammer on his vehicle. We drilled the holes, so now just running the radars back into it, and they'll be mounted just like this. Make sure you drill some holes to secure the wire harness. We have this wide body carbon fiber on this RS3. I put some double-sided tape just to hold it in place where it needs to be, just to shift it and adjust it to where it needs to be like this. And then basically I'm gonna be drilling pilot holes where the pop rivets is going to be. So I installed pop rivets on the rear bumper already. So basically what it does is you can remove this at any point that you need to. So basically you don't have to put a nut on the backside of these talons. So you just screw them in. They're basically threaded. I'm gonna put it back on. We'll drill these 2 holes, put a rivet nut in it, and that'll be done for this. Once this is completed, we're gonna run a black silicone or a gasket just to cover up the gap, make it real tight and real clean. Just because it's carbon, we can't do any type of body work on it. As far as the doors, we have the carbon fiber flares for the doors. It fits great. So all you have to do is just line it up, make sure the gap is nice and even between the flare and the door. Drill the 4 holes, pop your rivet nuts in it, and then that's pretty much it. Once everything's drilled, rivet nutted, test fitted, we're gonna pull this back off and we're gonna measure how much to cut the inner fender due to the fact that he's gonna run spacers or he's gonna get bigger wheels, and you don't want that to bottom out on the original quarter panel. So we had to remove the side skirts, which is aftermarket carbon. We didn't install it, so it was just held on by double-sided tape. So now we're working our way around the front. So we got to remove the front bumper and install these carbon fenders with the flares already together as one piece. You have 3 T27s up front, and then you have T25s on the lower. got this fender almost taken out. So we got 1, 2, 3 T27s. You have to remove the fender bracket to get to two bolts here, which is the T27. 2 T27 going down this way, one here, one here. You have another 2 that goes here and here. Only can access from the inside fender well, and then you have one going this way, but you have to remove the fender shield to get to that bolt. Yeah, and then you know. And then you have T25s holding the fender liner up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bolts are completely out. The fender comes off. So we got the carbon fenders right here. Basically, you're gonna have to reverse it. I like to open these holes a little bit bigger with the unibit. Just that way you can adjust it, move it around as you wish. We're gonna actually put rib nuts in these, but it doesn't need it. So if you can tell, it's one piece. But we're gonna keep that same look that we have from the rear, continue out to the front. What we found out in this front bumper installation is that this original bracket that holds the front bumper that sits right here on the retainer, it does not fit with this carbon fenders due to the fact that it's molded differently for the wide body. So what we end up doing is removing it completely out. And on the original bumper, we put a speed nut back here. And we're also gonna put a speed nut back here where the bumper screws up to. So in this case, when the bumper goes on, you can shoot a 10mm bolt through here and screws onto here where this will suck up like original, like an OEM.
Now, the owner of the car wanted to complete the carbon front end by getting our Karbel carbon pre-preg front bumper. This actually is meant for the S3, A3, and RS3, but it is the RS3 style front bumper. So he will be keeping the RS3 front end. This will actually fix the gap between the bumper and the fender. If you can see right here, there's a little bit of some fitment issues going on here. That's because the fenders on this wide body kit are actually meant for an A3 and S3, not the RS3. They can still fit on the RS3, but there will be that gap there. So to get rid of this, you can get our Karbel carbon front bumper, and he will also be adding on the TAKD front lip that was on his previous RS3 front bumper, and it will be installed the same way, and we'll complete the full carbon front end on this car, and it'll look super sick.
So we cut the quarter panel and we sealed it up with fiberglass and welded it up, so that way when you're driving in the rain, the gap that's been cut with the inner structure and the outer structure, water won't shoot up. So now we added a 40mm spacer to these wheels so it can sit flush with this wide body that we got here going on. But we also got to trim here too. We're gonna probably trim 2 inches off of this so that way he doesn't rub when he hit bumps. But I mean, overall the spacer, it's perfectly, in my opinion, it's gonna sit right at that lip, so if you hit bumps or go over speed bumps or anything like that, you won't have any issues.
Now, as for this front bumper goes, you will be transferring the OEM front grille over along with any sort of sensors. Also, we will not be replacing the front sensors because the holes that are on the original bumper for the sensors are not in the carbon one. You can cut them if you want. The customer didn't need them on this front bumper, so we left them off. And besides that, everything else goes up as shown. The gap is now gone in the front bumper, and now we have a full carbon front end on the RS3. Because this front lip did come off of the old bumper, we did add an extra layer of 3M to make sure that it stuck well, and then we also used self-tapping screws on the underside to screw it up to the bumper to make sure it is in play and not fall off.